So, what do you think? And national education policy has brought in the changes in the whole education system. What are your ideas?
Yeah, because government, has modified this education policy, and it has brought about a new one based on its past experiences and feedback that it has received from the ground and the field. So whatever reflections and feedback and kind of inputs that it has received from various stakeholders like teachers and companies and academia. So government has tried to incorporate all those suggestions in this, and also when we see the external environment, ecosystem around us, like globalization and then this pandemic which has gone. So this present state of affairs is very uncertain, it is very confusing, it is very volatile, and it is very changing. So therefore, one skill that you learn, a student learn, it has to be upgraded, it has to be unlearned again, and then again it has to be relearned. So this is a new kind of habit that one should have, not the skills but the habit. So one has to be very good at emotional intelligence. That are you able to take uncertainty? Are you able to take failures, ambiguity? So all these things, because once so many people were in during pandemic, they were taken away from the job and they have been exited. They were handed over the pay packages and they were asked to go, isn't it? So and moreover, great resignation also took place. So during that time, so many people were already, when we were going through this kind of crisis, and then the people were facing economic crisis also, that they lost their jobs and they were fired by the companies. So now all these kind of, but then they, so many of them they started their online business, their YouTube channels, so many other things. So likewise we must try to absorb the shock which we have in our lives, and also try to learn some new skills which will generate employment. So this is just one step in that direction, that when government is trying to adapt and increase the employability.
Okay, ma'am. Especially after the pandemic, intervention of technology has escalated in a very huge range in the education system. So, what do your point of view or that? Is it, do you consider it a good, or yeah, to the extent it is good? Like we really need technology everywhere. But what do you else you?
Yeah, actually, the technology was here, prevalent here, it was presented before us, but we were not applying it to that extent. But then, pandemic made us that we had gone compulsorily into this online system of teaching and, receiving education. And everyone, even we were also working from home during the pandemic time, because we were all into lockdowns and we did not had any option. There was no travel, traveling was restricted also. So, yes, of course, and from there we got so much of feedback and reflection. And moreover, if you realize in the short term, when the people were working from home, productivity increased. Productivity increased. This is in the government data. This is not, it is in the government data that shows that, the productivity increased and there was a increase of return on investments. So we realized that yes, technology plays a very crucial role. And then then education sector is trying to tap this digital space, this IT space, because, and it has come a lot way also, because likewise a long way also, that we are become more accessible to the remote areas. And when we are such a populated country, and where the teacher student ratio is so high, how can we just make this, all the education facilities available to every person in the nook and corner of each and every our part of our country. So online plays a major role. So yes, we are trying to now apply more and more online into the remote areas. Yes, that is, of course, that is the advantage. That is the advantage of this particular pandemic, that we have learned the lessons from here. We are applying more and more artificial intelligence, machine learning, all these kind of applicability texts are coming.
So, ma'am, from a government point of view, what education institutions you consider an ideal one? What features they should have?
Yeah. These days, the focus, as I'm telling you, that government is trying to cope up, equip us, the students, to cope up with the environment which is very volatile, which is not uncertain. We don't know what kind of skills, we will need to know. Like the skills which I have at present might not be applicable in the future. So it is all right. We have to learn, and then we have to unlearn, and when we have to relearn. This is the kind of slogan and the mantra these days. So government is trying to work on that only. And these days, when the company they go for employability, they go for interview of the candidates, selection of the candidates. They don't go for technical skills. Technical skills only form 20% of what they are looking for. It is the soft skills. It is the soft skill, the how I am interacting with the people around me, how I am obtaining different kind of perspective from the people, how I am doing problem solving, how I am doing critical analysis, whether I am creative in my thought pattern, am I curious about the surroundings, am I imaginative. So these all are the things which government and even the companies are looking for. They are not looking for any kind of degree that you hold. You are holding this degree, you please come. This used to happen previously when our economies were very simple, when we were agrarian economy. Now we are chat gpt, we are AI and all the service sector. So now new and new innovation is coming every day we find, when we get up in the morning with the thing that okay, new version of my mobile has come, new version of this kind of a software has come. So this is the age of thinking, and we need to really really pull up our minds and be adaptive to it. And moreover, social media is creating so much of information around us, and so all these things, the things have become too much information. There is no shortage of information, knowledge, but how to adapt it. Yeah, but how to adapt it, how to apply. Yeah.
Thank you. That was
Thank
very
you so much.
insightful.
Thank you so much.